Hello. Today I want to show you something that I had made reference to in my last video, and that is cutting a fret slot on your table saw. Now I'm not going to show you the table saw at the moment, but you do need a very specific blade for cutting fret slots. I got mine from stumac.com. It was kind of spendy. It was roughly 90 bucks. But this is not expensive, and this was super easy to make. I took some medium density fiberboard, high density fiberboard, and I got it from Home Depot for maybe 10 bucks, and I used a quarter of it. But get the little bit thicker stuff. You don't have to get the super heavy duty stuff. In fact, the super heavy duty stuff might not work as well. But I glued pine strips on the top, and you could use anything. I suppose if I wanted to get super fancy, I could have used some sort of exotic hardwood, but this is Montana and pine is plentiful. And then on the bottom, these were a little bit more tricky to make. I did use hardwood strips. I believe this is hickory, but I had to table saw them and plane them and get them the right width and the right thickness. But then I just glued them to the bottom of this sled, and these want to ride in the tracks that your miter gauge would normally ride in. Now this is a pretty common type of a notion if you're doing a lot of woodworking. I mean, this isn't something that you're unfamiliar with. But the difference is there's a little pin here, and I'll show you what that little pin is for. That little pin is designed to ride in one of these grooves. This, something else I got from Stuart McDonald, stumac.com. This is a gauge for getting your fret spacing right. And all I did, I think I took maybe a 16 gauge pin from a finish nailer and just broke it off, and then cut it short and hammered it in there delicately. The hardest part about that was getting the thickness right, because you know with the fretboard you don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be able to sit there, and then for this to ride right on top of it. So, but yeah, then all you have to do is use my luthier's trick that we discussed in the last video, or in a recent video here, of put masking tape on the back of this, masking tape on the back of this, super glue it, burnish it down, and then super glue it, and that sucker ain't going nowhere until you're ready for it to go somewhere. So, and then you do this number, and all you have to do is continue to move this down one at a time and run it through your table saw. And then what you're left with is a beautiful piece of catalogs that's ready for frets. So, voila.